Spawning in the top right position as the blue Terran player on the map that is Neo Planet S, we have Startails Bomber. Currently tied 1-1 in this best of 3. He won with a pretty solid macro game to kick the series off, but couldn't hold the Speed Bane, Speed Roach timing from this man in the bottom left position as our yellow Zerg player from Team Mouse Sports, VortiX. And, it was a very nice timing hit by VortiX. It's kind of crazy how well these kinds of attacks, when you execute them well enough, can work versus even defensive Terran openers with the siege tanks. Bomber, if you're going to move out to take your third base like that, you spread yourself way too thin. He needed to scan. He needed to actually see what was coming. And it would have been so easy. You scan the main, you'd be like, okay, he has a lair. He didn't have evolution chambers, so it has to, there's not really any other option. If you skip evolution chambers, it's such a, it's like if a Terran player goes for a big attack without engineering bays, and then all of a sudden you just die to Protoss units because they have upgrades. Like if you skip upgrades, it means you're not looking towards the later stages of the game, I guess, is the point that I want to make. We are going to see a drone scout from VortiX. This map is very popular for 2 racks, or for proxy 2 racks versus Zerg. It's probably one of the smallest maps within the actual normal map pool. I'm actually kind of torn. I think this map might actually be smaller than Fruitland, which is saying something, considering how goddamn small that map was. But the drone's going to move inside of the main base now. Bomber immediately like, no, I'm not dealing with this. He's going to send 2 SCVs, says, get off my lawn. He's going to force that drone out, and he's going to be able to build his own barracks and just wall off. All will be well for the Startail Terran. And, yeah. Another gas opening from VortiX, though, and I think he's kind of found his stride. He wants to try to punish their greedy play of Bomber. He's realized, okay, I don't want to go toe-to-toe in a macro game versus a Korean Terran. No thanks. And I think that's one of VortiX's hallmarks, though. He goes for lots of interesting builds. My personal favorite VortiX build that I've not actually casted, I don't think I've actually casted any European players doing this build that VortiX does, which it's only in ZvZ, of course, but it's my like I said, my favorite build he does. It's a very fast +1 attack for the range units with roaches off of 2 bases, because of course roaches 2-shot Zerglings when they have +1 attack. And it's just a really cool attack that you don't really see many players go for. But yeah. Now Bomber is going to get this fast third command center again, as much as we expected from him. More interesting to note, though, is he's gone for no gas. So this is a much faster third. This is a much greedier play. And VortiX doesn't actually have anything in position to scout this just yet. He has an Overlord along the northwest side. But by the time this Overlord actually gets over and can scout that Bomber has done this, he's already going to have taken these extra gas geysers, and he'll already be moving towards probably a more defensive play. One refinery is coming in. Is Bomber only going to go 1 gas? I feel like that is playing so risky. In fact, he doesn't even have this bunker up in the natural yet. VortiX has Zergling speed on the way. In fact, he's continuing to mine gas. This is starting to look like Gumiho versus Jaedong on Whirlwind as far as big, fast Baneling attacks go. Now, VortiX is a guy that favors roaches over Banelings, so I shouldn't get ahead of myself, but he's going to be super vulnerable, Bomber that is, to any kind of fast attack that VortiX brings on, and it is going to be that Roach Warren, so yeah. I knew VortiX, yeah, I just mentioned the +1 timing attack versus Zerg. I'm like, yeah, VortiX likes roaches way more than Banelings. Not quite, I actually tend to find that a lot of Korean Zerg players, at least from what I've seen recently, do prefer to go for Banelings over anything else, rather than the roaches. Some players still, like Hyun, will go for roaches, but the thing about roaches is they're so hard to kill. And Bomber going mass racks. Wow. So, give you guys a bit of information on how crazy this game is about to get. Banelings do 90 damage versus buildings, something like that. And these barracks have about 1,000 health. So normally to kill a supply depot, you're not going to need more than like 4, 5, 6 Banelings. Depends, of course, because these Marines could pick one off before they reach a supply depot wall. But to kill a 3 barracks wall like this is so hard. Now, VortiX sees at least one of these barracks. His Overlord could very easily spot the other 2. The key here is the roaches. If the roaches can get into a position where they can chew away the farthest off barracks, then he might potentially be able to just bust it down. But this is actually a style that is kind of exclusive to Bomber. He actually really started busting out this sort of play back at IPL 5 in Wings of Liberty, and he's kind of been one of the few Terran players to say no, I'm still okay with going fast gasless 3 base against Zerg into this mass rack style. You see, he doesn't have any add-ons. He won't be getting any add-ons at all until he has map control. That's the way the Bomber plays this. And well, VortiX, he's going for this very fast Roach Baneling attack, like I said, and well, this is going to be weird. He wants to use the roaches to poke away at the wall first. Now, will the Marines be able to hit these roaches? No. So Bomber can try to repair. One of these roaches is under fire, and ooh, that one roach will die. He's going to bring in the Banelings. He's weak at the barracks enough. He's going to try to bust it open. We do have VortiX breaking inside. Now the SCVs are on top. There's so many Marines here for Bomber. I don't actually know if VortiX can break this Bomber. Keep your SCVs repairing. This bunker's getting so low. He's picking off a lot of SCVs, but there is so much here for the Startail Terran. If he gets these Marines inside this other bunker, oh, VortiX is just going to try to run into the natural, or at least up the natural ramp, but that's not going to be enough. Bomber holds this in stellar fashion. So you guys might be saying, okay, well, VortiX did kill about 13 SCVs. That literally means nothing. Bomber has a 3rd command center. VortiX is on 2 bases. At this point, the options that exist for Bomber are quite limited. Pretty much all VortiX can do, he needs to try to get an advantage somehow. And going for double evolution chamber, going for this 3rd base, this is standard Zerg versus Terran play. The fact that his attack didn't actually do anything to Bomber to slow him down, because keep in mind, he's still mostly saturated on minerals on both bases. He's still mining gas. He still has his 1-1 going, so it's not like the lack of gas mining is affecting him. He has all the upgrades in place. The real issue here for VortiX, he has to take some sort of risk to climb back into this game. His 1-1 is going to be behind. His tech is severely behind. If Bomber actually has a stim out, he could go for a push with this first medevac. He could start dropping, and there won't be Baneling speed. There won't be Mutalisks. There won't be anything like, yeah, mostly just the Baneling speed and the Mutalisks. But he won't be able to go for anything like Infestors to come back, Swarmhost. No options. It's just the Banelings, the Roaches, and the Zerglings, with no upgrades, mind you. So the armory is going to come in. This is actually pretty damn well timed. By the time the armory completes, we will have +1 attack and armor literally about to finish. So this drop is going to move out. 2 Marauders, 4 Marines. I really like this. He's not going to be able to exploit the upgrade timing terribly much. He's only ahead about 30 seconds. It's a very small window. But Baneling speed and Roach speed are coming in. VortiX, going for this 1-1. I feel the only option he has if he's going to get Roach speed is just go for a big Baneling Roach all-in off of 3 bases. His only chance is to try to just catch him off guard and win this, but the Marauders and Marines are here. Does VortiX even have enough Zerglings to stop this? He doesn't have that many. Here come the Marines and Marauders stimming forward into this natural combat. Shield is done. Bomber is in the 3rd base of VortiX. The Marines, he's going to immediately pick everything up. And all those Banelings, they don't have the speed. It takes them so long to get over here. He's going to drop in the main base. The Roaches are here, however, or at least the Roach. He sees these evolution chambers, and the other cool thing is Bomber can scout with this. He is going to have to run back for now, though, and the big thing is that he's pulling VortiX apart. He actually hasn't been mining on this base. There are Banelings here, but he could actually just pick everything up and drop the Marauders. Oh, Bomber, great play. Drops the Marauder right onto the Banelings. Tanks so many of them, and VortiX will lose the majority of the firepower here, and now Bomber can drop those Marines again. There's only 1 Baneling to target fire down if he wants to. He's going to go right back towards the main base. In the meantime, the Overlord that was pooping creep over that 3rd base for Bomber has been shut down. And these Marines are still dancing. The Queen's going to try to focus on the medevac, of course. That is the big target. Prevent these Marines from doing any more damage. Medevac falls, but the Marines are Bomber. He's going to focus down as many drones as he can. And now Bomber's killed 10 workers. So total workers are going to be 53 for VortiX and about 59 for Bomber. This is such a nice position to be in as the Korean Terran player. He's got Marines. He's got mines now. 2-2 is on the way. And we are seeing that medevac production. The 3rd base not really mining there yet. Bomber wants to make sure he doesn't overcommit, and forget about his economy. There, the SCV's moving in, the mules dropping. And VortiX could try to go for some counter harass, which would be nice. But at this point, he has to commit all of his resources towards defending. And, well, I feel like this is that big attack that I was talking about earlier, the big Roach Baneling all-in. And this, theoretically, could work. But it's going to take Bomber clumping most of his Marines up, and it's going to take VortiX. Well, he's going to need to basically bait out the attacks from the Widow Mines. Bomber, great micro, unburrowing the Widow Mine before it goes off. And, well, this is VortiX's only shot. He is rolling in now. The Widow Mines not taking out actually too many of the Banelings, and he's going to start rolling through here. VortiX keeping this supply even, but can he handle all of the production that Bomber has? We have a bunker here. The Roaches are going to go for that. He doesn't want to waste the Banelings on the bunker, but as these Banelings run out, killing this army off will be so hard. He will be able to push towards this third base, potentially taking out the SCVs here, but Bomber doesn't even care. He's just going to mineral walk these SCVs away. SCVs will get blown apart by the Banelings, but that doesn't honestly matter that much anymore. VortiX needs to kill him and get on this production. There's still a nice wall, still lots of Widow Mines, and if there are no Banelings, he cannot fight. There's too many medevacs to heal this bio for just the Roaches to win. More Banelings are coming in. No, Bomber's trying to target them down. The Zerglings coming in from the top, and ooh, he's going to be able to take out all the Banelings. This is a really rough position to be in for VortiX. Remember, he doesn't have his 2-2 on the way. In a couple of seconds, Bomber will have reached Super Saiyan level 3, and this is basically him just going to completely bowl over VortiX, and he's going to try to run into this choke point. This is where the Widow Mines become so cost-effective. Great hits going off for the Star-Tailed Terran, and the thing is, these Widow Mines aren't dying, so every 40 seconds they become more and more effective. A Baneling detonates on top of one, a nice way to manually kill it, but the Zerglings that are moving over here aren't going to be able to do terribly much. Also, keep in mind that the upgrades were not for the Roaches. He only got the Carapace and the melee, so the Roaches don't get any plus attack. That will help the Queens out a little. Actually, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not range, yeah. So the plus 3/3 is going to come in. We have the Spire on the way for VortiX, but is it going to be in time? I'm not so sure. Bomber has secured a sizable lead. He's relanded at third base. More meals dropping, and here comes the big push. Bomber heading his way over towards the natural expansion. He's burning these Widow Mines behind him. There's a lot of Overlords that are exposed. He could actually supply block VortiX into oblivion if he kills all of these off. The Zerglings are going to try to chase in here. The Banelings not able to get good connections. In fact, well, how many Banelings does he really have at this point? Bomber continuing to press forward, and it looks like he is going to be able to take the first match in this group 2-1, unless VortiX makes a miracle happen right now. But these Widow Mines are just such a pain in the ass. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. 2 more medevacs are coming over. The drones being pulled to try to fight versus these Marines. He's going to take out the hatchery first. These Roaches also weak, and with this around, he could try to kill most of this off. He is going to be able to hold this, but VortiX taps out G, and Bomber is going to be able to take this series 2-1. So very nice play there from our Star-Tailed Terran. I totally didn't update the score, so let's just fix that. 2-1. Okay. And our next match is going to be Titan versus Cats as the second match, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. Cats ZVP is probably the most fun you will ever watch in your entire life.